Do you notice how much coughing is going on from Sam Sulek right now?
Oh, goodness.
He's got the hiccups, he can't breathe properly, he's coughing. Imagine if Sam Sulek were to get his blood work done and send it to Coach Greg. Coach Greg, in today's video, Sam Sulek, he's peaking for his debut in Classic Physique. And so we're gonna go over exactly what he's eating, he's dieting, is he carbing up, is he carbing down? And may I remind you, Sam Sulek is sick. He's fighting an illness, but he's going to try to make it to the show. He's coughing throughout the video. It sounds like he has bronchitis. And so will he in fact make it? Well, remember, it's very difficult to diet, to do cardio, to train harder than last time during peak week. This is a time where you're drying out. You're cutting back on your water, dehydrating your skin, and it's much easier to get injured. I'm unsure as to whether or not he has a coach. Perhaps he has one in secret. But based on what I'm seeing, remember, I've already watched the video, he's not doing things the right way. I think he should get a coach before something can go wrong.
Cardio and working out, sitting in here, getting some grub together, and sleeping. That's kind of my trifecta.
We've said that for years. Eat, sleep, train, repeat. That's all it's about. There's nothing he needs to do. This is his entire focus.
Let's get a little look at what's in the fridge. So very lean. I'm talking egg white cartons, mustard, no room for any sugar-free barbecue sauce right now.
The first thing I see is bro has the biggest stash of White Monster drinks aside from Coach Greg. And so guys, check out the White Monsters. And so I'm seeing a lot of egg whites, vegetables, eggs, little bit of fruit, some Greek yogurt. And for condiments, basically cut it down to just the mustard. He's trying to have fewer calories than last time. Gone are the sugar-free syrups, barbecue sauces, ketchups, and so on. It's just down to the yellow mustard.
Ground turkey, 99% lean, and a variety of sort of pre-chopped vegetables. So that really spices it up for whenever I make the little kind of egg white omelets.
And so basically it's vegetables and protein. This is what it's down to. There's no sauces, there's no sugar-free this, sugar-free that, and his condiment of choice, it's down to the yellow mustard.
In the freezer, as you would expect, zilch, right? Frozen broccoli, no Ben & Jerry's.
Well, I mean, by zilch, frozen broccoli, a massive 2-kilogram bag, I wouldn't call that zilch. But yeah, there's not a lot of junk in there.
And then carb-wise, nothing much to see either.
And on the counter, unsalted rice cakes as well as tuna. And so you're thinking, why unsalted? Well, during peak week, what you do is you cut out your sodium. Things travel through osmosis from an area of a high concentration, like a lot of salt, to an area of lower concentration. And so if you reduce the sodium in your diet, you're going to pee out more water. It dehydrates your body. If you add in more sodium, you're going to have more water. And so by reducing his sodium, it's going to cause him to pee out more water, cause him to lose weight, to get leaner, allow him to make that weight category. Remember, he's competing in Classic Physique. He can't weigh as much as he wants.
Because in the coming days, the whole point of this sort of bodybuilding, like peak week, it's not about like burning any extra fat, right? The fat's been burned. You know, I mean, I might lose like tenths of pounds over the next couple days.
At this point, you should already be lean. He's saying, I'm only going to lose tenths of pounds. Now, if you still have several pounds to lose, for example, Mike Israetel.
Thank you, Greg.
Well, you should be doing hours and hours cardio. And so, for example, if I was coaching Mike Israetel and it was 1 week out and he looked the way he did his last competition, I would be saying, you need to do 4 hours of cardio a day. And why? Because you have several pounds to lose. Sam Sulek, on the other hand, he's already shredded. He doesn't need to lose a lot of weight. And so what would I do with Sam? I would be reducing his cardio. I saw in his previous video, he's doing 1.5 to 2 hours of cardio a day. To me, that is too much. What's going to happen? He's going to start to lose muscle. He's already looking shredded. And so why would he do that? Unless, of course, he's far over the weight cap and he has to lose all of that weight, I wouldn't have him doing this much cardio. Based on his physique, I would have him doing perhaps 30, maybe 45 minutes of cardio a day. And so I do think that doing that much cardio is in fact a mistake. A lot of cardio, very close to competition. Your legs could, for example, swell up. You get inflamed. You want to body to not have any cortisol. You want to have less stress in the body so that you can look dry. For 3,500 calories in a deficit, he's going to lose 1 pound of fat. And so if he's on, for example, a 1,000 calorie deficit, I do believe it's at least that much. In 2 days, he's going to lose more than a half a pound of fat. You're thinking, that isn't very much. Well, Sam Sulek is very lean. Perhaps he only has 10, 12, 15 pounds of fat on his entire body. And so if he loses a half a pound of fat on his body, but only has 10 on it to start with, that's actually a lot. It's 5%. You're thinking, it's only going to drop his body fat by point something. Yeah, but 0.5% body fat when you weigh over 200 pounds and you have only 5% body fat to begin with, it's actually a lot. It's a lot leaner. The difference between looking shredded and looking ridiculously shredded is usually only a matter of 2 or 3 pounds.
Of staying in this deficit. But for the most part, that's not what I'm trying to change. Like, I'm not going to get leaner by any substantial degree over the next 2 or 3 days. The whole trick is sort of like drying out and then carbing up.
Typically, what we'll have an athlete do is drink even more water to flush out that sodium. Remember, the more sodium you can get rid of, the leaner you're going to look. Now, it does come at the expense of perhaps getting cramps or losing too much water, of which you'll look flat. But what Sam is then going to do is he's going to add in additional sodium as he carbs up. This is the carbing down phase. Notice in the fridge, you saw mostly vegetables, proteins, and he's still doing a lot of cardio. His glycogen stores are going to be very low, perhaps almost at zero. But as the show gets closer, by 1 day out, the athletes most certainly are carbing up. I personally carb up 1 day before the show. I don't need a lot of time in order to fill out. Some athletes, they carb up the entire week. That's often a mistake. They end up spilling over. What is spilling over? Spilling over is you eat so much food, so many carbs, that you end up holding a lot of water. It's typically not fat. As you know, you need 3,500 calories of surplus in order to gain 1 pound of fat. Not likely to happen during peak week, but if you eat too many carbs and you have some water with that, you can look very bloated. That most likely is something that Mike Israetel did. And so if I were coaching Mike, I would have had him carb deplete much closer to show. Carb up for 1 day only. By leaving carbing up to the last minute, you're much less likely to spill over. And trust me, once you say go, eat carbs, it's very hard to stop. Sam's been dieting for perhaps 4 months. Very low carbs, doing a lot of cardio. I've coached several athletes in the past, for example, guys trying to get their pro cards and so on. And once you tell them it's okay to eat carbs, oftentimes they can't stop.
I've actually got to go to a legit gym and get an hour cardio started, so let's cut to that. Oh my God, this took freaking forever. Oh goodness.
And so Sam is suffering. It feels like it's taking forever. And when you're suffering, time, it does stand still. Trust me, when you're on the bike racing harder than last time, every second it feels like eternity.
I had to pee like that whole time. Well, more like 30 minutes in. But the machine wouldn't let you pause the timer. Usually those fancier ones that are like extra, electric and shit and have the screen, you can pause it for like 5 minutes.
And so more coughing yet again. Remember, Sam is a little obsessive. The timer goes out for 30 minutes and he can't handle to start it again. And so he's very upset about that. Now, listen, if you go to the bathroom 30 minutes after bike riding and you go and ride the bike another 30 minutes, it doesn't count as 2 workouts. That is 1. You're allowed to walk and go pee and come back. It takes 30 to 60 seconds.
Any spare sugars or anything else? Oh, goodness, man. Still getting used to dry air.
And so he's now having the hiccups, he's coughing, it feels like he can't breathe effectively. Is this perhaps something to do with the performance-enhancing drugs? Is it in fact the diet? I'm thinking it's likely a combination of both.
Oh, goodness, man. I'm still getting used to dry air. But yeah, that was a good sweat.
Sam is saying, it's the dry air. It's probably not the dry air, but here's the thing. When you see a professional bodybuilder on stage, you're thinking that is the peak physique. It's the exact opposite. The better the athlete looks, or oftentimes the closer they are to death. The shredded guys, 3 or 4% body fat, taking diuretics on Helitren. If you were to get their blood pressure, their blood work, and so on, it's likely not going to be good. I know in my last competition, I started to get nosebleeds. Does that sound healthy? I'm in the gym doing bicep curls, and I'm starting to bleed from the nose. Why is that? I don't get nosebleeds, and so likely from using steroids.
And maybe this is just a me thing, but I feel like I don't stink as bad when I'm dieting down.
And so typically it's the opposite. Normally, people are using Tren, dieting down for competitions, and they actually start smelling like Tren. Trust me, Tren has a unique odor. You can smell it. Even in the vial, even in a bag, you go near it, oftentimes you can smell it. I don't know if perhaps I'm like a dog, I can smell these things out, but oftentimes I'm next to somebody who's using Tren and I'm like, I can smell that this guy is using Tren. And so for Sam Sulek, well, it's in fact the opposite.
Like even if I'm completely drenched in sweat, like I'm not so like sweaty smelling.
Sam, it's called a fan. I'm not talking about all your fans cheering you on, but I suggest you purchase a fan. By cooling off your body, it's blowing air on your skin. The water on your skin, it then evaporates, drawing heat from out of the body. This is why you sweat. And so, contrary to popular belief, having a pump sweater on to make you sweat more, it's not making you burn more calories. And in effect, it's likely going to make you burn off less. The cooler your body is, the greater the output you can put in. Following his 1 hour of cardio, he begins meal one and he has a bowl of protein and a rice cake and some water. This is the life of a bodybuilder. This is insane. This is taking it to the next level. Now, as I'm watching this video, I'm thinking, does Sam Sulek have any friends? I rarely see him hanging out with people in the videos, and I get it. Perhaps he likes to Turk alone. But is this what it takes to be a bodybuilder? And now, I know I was a strange cat. I used to go against the grain. I would eat whatever I want. I went to the gym. I had fun. I had friends. I would go out. I'd go to the movies. I'd go on dates. I was as normal a bodybuilder as could be, but perhaps that's not the way to do it. Sam Sulek's got the sweater on. He's sweating. He says he doesn't smell gross anymore because he's on a diet. The hoodie's on. He's eating a rice cake and he's got some protein, probably some tuna fish mixed with mustard. Is this what it takes to be a champion? Hey, props to him, respect to him. Personally, I just couldn't do it.
That's on the colder side of things over here.
Do you notice how much coughing is going on from Sam Sulek right now? Perhaps I need to see his blood work. Imagine if Sam Sulek were to get his blood work done and send it to Coach Greg.
So, plan for tonight's back day. Well, get a back pump. Oh yeah, that's all I'm aiming for. The primary goal of that lifting portion, get some blood flow, pose down.
Today is a back day. The primary goal is to get a back pump. Now, I've coached hundreds of competitors, perhaps thousands. When it's peak week, you're on low carbs, dehydrating, and so on. What you don't do is train harder than last time. You go at 50%, 75% maximum. I am very specific when I coach these athletes. Sam Sulek is going to failure and beyond. Do you know how dangerous it is at this point when you're this lean? Perhaps he's taking anti-estrogens, diuretics, and so on. Oh, no. The chances of getting injured are through the roof. Let's take this example. Chris Bumstead, the GOAT. Did you all know that he tore his bicep doing a side chest pose? Simple as that. And so if flexing hard can cause him to tear a bicep, what could going to failure and beyond training your back and ego lifting do to your potential bodybuilding career? Leave the training to failure for outside of competition. During peak week, your job is to go in, train a little bit, and get a pump and pose. It's not to train harder than last time. He earlier in the video said, I'm not going to make a big difference. I might lose tenths of a pound of body fat. How much muscle do you think you're going to put on a few days out from competition training to failure? You're now tearing down those fibers. They're going to have to repair. You should be posing, you should be practicing, you should be recovering. This is your time to taper or to deload. Your goal is to peak at competition, not to be sick and injured and barely be able to step up on stage.
And one thing I can't help but focus on is the fact that I forgot my straps. But I'm not actually too pressed about that fact, considering I don't need to lift as much weight as I can physically move right now. So the fact that I don't, get the added gripability of throwing some straps on really doesn't change much.
He's got the hiccups, he can't breathe properly, he's coughing, and he's concerned that he forgot his straps. Why would he need straps to train half-ass in the gym? Remember, we're not going to failure. We're not going beyond failure. That's for sure. Right? Wrong. He's training beyond failure. He doesn't know how else to train. And so no big deal. Let's use the entire stack. Go to failure and beyond. Do partial reps. Put the stack down. 2 more of those. What happened to just going in and getting a pump? Trust me, you don't have to do reps with the stack beyond failure, multiple sets to get a pump.
Let's get a row started.
And so let's now do the rows. I mean, that wouldn't have gotten us a pump.
Oh no, okay.
Oh. Beyond failure again. This is way too hard, way too intense. Look, I get it. You want to train harder than last time. This is not the time.
Diet fatigue most certainly hit me for this freaking back day.
It doesn't appear to be. It looks like he's training very hard. Now, he is coughing a lot, and he's swallowing difficultly. He's burping up and so on. And so I don't think he's very healthy. But for a guy this close to competition, his energy levels, at least, they're very good.
And don't forget, this is fully hydrated and I wouldn't say carved up, but not like, you know, dead. Sort of nearly show prepped flat.
And so in this particular display of his physique, he hasn't cut out his water, and so he's going to get a lot leaner. This is not the dehydrated effect. Once he takes perhaps diuretics, cuts out his water, and so on, he's going to look a lot drier. And remember, he ain't got no tan.
Let's call it at 1 hour of cardio per day. Any more than 1 hour a day, that's too much.
Sam, upon further thought, is thinking, 1.5 to 2 hours of cardio a day. That is too much. Let's bring it down to just 1 hour. And so whether it's for peak week, you're just trying to train harder than last time in the gym, don't forget about Turk Max as well as GO2 Max, the T-plug stack. This is the ultimate stack for increased energy, building more muscle. Find out what all the rave is about. And remember, there's a money-back guarantee on both, plus a $20 gift card. And so what do you have to lose? Remember, this is authentic turkesterone. It's from Uzbekistan. We've been third-party tested, proving that it is what it is. Other companies, out of the 10, we were the only ones that passed. And we didn't just pass, we greatly exceeded it. And the latest batch that's out, the strongest of all. By far, way stronger than last time. And so if you're looking for the best product in the world, the best Ajuga turkestanica, look no further than HDLT Supplements. Code Greg, 15% off. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm, like the video if you liked it. Don't forget to watch one of those 2 bloops. And of course, if you're dieting, you're looking for the cookbooks, the Circle Diet book, the training books, coaching plans by me and my team, and get it all on the website. And of course, the free diet and training program, giving away over 110,000 of these. Get to the website. And until next time, I am out.